No doubt that Asherman intrauterine adhesions is the nightmare for hysteroscopy. Going into a glued, agglutinated, closed cavity with no clue about direction, it's like driving in the dark without a GPS. There is no landmark. There is no orientation. So Asherman represent the most challenging kind of surgery. Here, entering the uterine cavity, you could see obviously a caesarean scar. This is a caesarean scar niche. So we are now here at the level of the internal os. What you see here is the minute vascularity on the thin wall of the caesarean scar niche. And here is the start of the uterine cavity. But you could see that the bubbles stop here. There is no cavity. This is just about few millimeter above the internal os or above the level of the caesarean scar. And you can see white, dense fiber. But work your mind, work your eyes, and then work your hands. This is surgery. Work your mind first and work your eyes. I can see a black shadow. This could be a clue to a high up space. Could be, all right? So together, we will learn how to think. Again, I do repeat, we will learn how to think. Insert the scissor and use the scissor as palpating probe. When you touch the tissues, you feel the resistance. Is it fibrosis? Is it myometrium? Or just endometrium? So just make a puncture and look behind. Yes, there's a black shadow or black hole. This black hole could be a start road to a heavens or to a hell. It could lead to a promising cavity above the level of obstruction, or you find yourself hitting the bowels or major abdominal structure. Well, so again, I want everyone watching this video, please imagine that the handle of the scissors in your hand. When I rotate, yes, when I rotate like this, I want you to rotate your hands to get the ergonomics, the neuromuscular coordination. Please try to not only to watch, but to feel. Here I'm working in a very restricted space. So opening the blades of the scissor could be a little bit cumbersome. You have to pull. Again, you have to pull the sheath little bit. When I say little bit, it's few millimeters back to push the scissors little millimeters in. Then you can open the blades. Again, I'm still in the process of palpating, and I would try to find a clue to pink tissues. What you see white could be a dense fibrosis, or it could be the myometrium. So cut and palpate. Now I could see some promising flickering tissues. Yes, there is a hole. This hole could lead to the upper yes, I could see now a clue. I could see the clue. This is a tubal ostium. Yes. So going from the darkness to the light is the most happy moment during hysteroscopic surgery. Now you can see the clue. This is the tubal ostium. How can I see it more? Well, rotate the blades, have a little cut laterally, yes, and then use the blades to push and elevate like this. Push and elevate and palpate to see more the cornea. So reaching one cornea give the reassurance that you already created a proper space in the proper cavity, because you could be wrongly going into false track and you create a cavity, but it's an intramyometrial cavity, okay? So I leave you to enjoy, and with each stroke of the scissors, I want you to store it in your hard disk in your brain. I want you to communicate between your brain and your hands, and the hand movement is generated from the wrist, from the fingers, and little bit from the elbow. Again, wrist is mainly up and down, left and right. Rotate. It is rotate. Clockwise, sorry, it's not left and right. It's clockwise and anti-clockwise. There is no left and right in hysteroscopy, okay? Now expanding more into the fundus, trying to reach the other tubal ostium. Please watch, focus, don't blink your eye, and learn from each move. I don't need to explain. Everybody is now happy to identify the other tubal ostium. So at this moment, I could realize the span or the distance, the width from one tubal ostium to the other tubal ostium. This is the maximum width of the fundus. The cavity was contracted because of the fibrosis. I cannot expand more laterally. However, you will see me cutting later on a little bit in the lateral wall. I call this overcorrection. Overcorrection. I mean, as if you make the shirt a little bit loose, so when you wash it and it will shrink, still it can fit you. So a little bit overcorrection on the sides. This will help that post-operative, if little contraction happen or constriction happen, still you have a good cavity. So I'm now cutting into the fundus, and each now and then I check tubal ostium. This is the lateral wall overcorrection. Actually, maybe some viewers said, Osama, this is not needed what you are doing, because I am exceeding laterally the level of the tubal ostium. This is the right tubal ostium. Again, I repeat, this is a little bit overcorrection to compensate for any post-operative fibrosis. So I'm now trying to see the tubal ostium. Use the blades to retract. Yes, retract. The scissor is not only to cut, it is to push, retract, and I can beautifully see the ostium. How can you identify the ostium? Number one, from its topography, geographical position. High lateral, the most kefaled lateral point. Then the real reassurance that it is the ostium is the lining epithelium. You can see that it is lined by epithelium different than the rest of the endometrium. This is the endosalpinx. You need to train your eyes as you train your hands for hysteroscopic surgery. Now we have a beautiful cavity. Look from left to right. This is the pleasure enjoyment step, that you enjoy your achievement like an artist making a sculpture, and then enjoy the final view. This cavity is near normal cavity in size, and it has some lining, good lining of endometrium, and post-operatively we can, this is the one tubal ostium. Look at the beauty. How fantastic to feel that you went from, remember the start of surgery. Remember that there was no clue. There was a curtain. I would not say a curtain. There was a wall. And the wall was just above the cesarean scar. So what was available before surgery is only few millimeters above the cesarean scar, but now we have a beautiful cavity. And let me now share with you the post-operative. This is the pre-operative hysterography, and this is after surgery. My dear friends, I hope that my videos bring you not only skills. The good surgeon is not the one who is good with the fingers, but with the eyes and the mind. This is Osama Shawki from Cairo, Egypt.